From the big screen to the Disney parks, Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan, better known as Sulley, have been entertaining fans for over 2 decades. Since their debut in 2001, the one-eyed comedian and his giant blue best friend have appeared in shows, parades, rides, and seasonal events all around the world. Let's take a look back at their full history in the Disney parks and see how Mike and Sulley became true park icons. Mike and Sulley's first public appearance was at the Monsters Inc movie premiere on October 28, 2001. Sulley's costume was huge, with a giant shoulder piece and long arms that gave him his towering look. Mike was short and round with stiff arms that were moved by rods and included a movable eye. The performer could see out through a spot in Mike's hat. These designs would be the starting point for how they appeared in the parks. Just a month later, in November 2001, Mike and Sulley arrived at Disney California Adventure and Disney's Hollywood Studios for meet and greets. They would use the exact same costumes from the premiere. Guests could finally see them up close, take photos and interact with them, starting their journey as regular park characters. In December 2001, California Adventure introduced a small live show called Scream at the Hairy Blue Monster. It was performed on a stage that could be driven to different areas of the park, making it easy for guests to catch the show in different places. Both Mike and Sulley took part, with Sulley as the hairy blue monster and Mike adding his usual humour. The show continued into 2002 before it quietly ended. From 2003 to 2007, Mike and Sulley would appear in Disney on Ice Presents Monsters Inc. Sulley was even larger than in the parks, with the vision through the chest area and a massive shoulder piece to give him more height and width. Mike's arms were softer and more flexible than the original park version, making his movements smoother. His eye could still move, and the vision for the performer still came from his hat. These designs worked better for ice skating performances, allowing the characters to move more freely and easily on the ice. On May 5, 2005, Mike and Sulley joined the Block Party Bash at California Adventure. The parade would also later open at Hollywood Studios on March 14, 2008. They had their own large Monsters Inc float, with Mike being performed as a puppet, which allowed for his mouth and eye to move, while Sulley kept his standard park look. Other characters from the movie, including Boo, George Sanderson, Needleman, and Smitty, also appeared. The parade was full of music, dancing, and high-energy interactions with guests. On December 20th, 2005, Monsters Inc Mike and Sulley to the Rescue opened at California Adventure. It replaced the unpopular Superstar limo, reusing the same track and some animatronics that were redesigned as the CDA agents. The dark ride takes guests through scenes from the movie, with animatronic versions of Mike, Sulley, and other Monstropolis residents. At the grand opening, Sulley appeared in person, although Mike was not present. The ride would become one of the park's key family attractions for almost 2 decades. In March 2007, Mike and Sulley joined the Tokyo Disneyland nighttime parade, Dreamlights. The float featured Mike, Sulley, and Boo, all speaking in Japanese to fit the park audience, and the float would also feature its own unique music loop. During the holiday season, Sulley would wear a Santa hat, adding a festive touch. The float ran for nearly a decade before being retired in August 2016. On April 2, 2007, Monsters Inc Laugh Floor opened at Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. This was an interactive comedy show where Mike, Roz, and other monsters performed live on screen. Performers backstage could see the audience, and through digital puppetry, they controlled the characters' mouths, eyes, and voices in real time. Mike was the star of the show, interacting directly with guests and telling jokes, Roz also made appearances as the grumpy supervisor. The show has included seasonal overlays for both Halloween and Christmas, keeping it fresh for repeat visitors. On March 14, 2008, Mike and Sulley would join the Pixar Play Parade at California Adventure. Their float would open the parade with a huge drum with Mike as an animatronic on the back with Sulley sitting at the front. Sulley appeared in his regular parks look, but sometimes would wear a special hat. Boo, George Sanderson, Needleman, Smitty, Roz, and CDA workers also appeared. There was also an alternate version called Pixar Pow's Countdown to Fun that debuted at Hollywood Studios in 2011 and ended in 2013. That would use the same music as Play Parade while using the floats from the then retired Block Party Bash. On April 15, 2008, Tokyo Disneyland would introduce the Jubilation Parade for its 25th anniversary. Mike and Sulley were featured on a Monsters Inc float. Mike appeared as an animated figure while Sulley had his usual walk-around look. The unit also included CDA agents, adding more of the movie's world to the parade. On April 15, 2009, Tokyo Disneyland opened Monsters Inc Ride and Go Seek. This interactive dark ride used flashlights as the main ride device. Guests could shine their lights at objects and characters throughout Monstropolis to trigger effects. The attraction featured many animatronics including Mike, Sulley, and other monsters from Monstropolis. At the grand opening, both Mike and Sulley appeared in person to welcome guests. In the summer of 2009, Tokyo Disneyland introduced Club Monsters Inc, a limited time seasonal show. It featured Mike and Sulley performing alongside Mickey and his friends. The show included water, lights, and music, creating a party atmosphere for the hot summer months. It would only run for that summer before ending. In 2010, Mike was part of Carnivale of Color, a pre-show to World of Color at California Adventure. The pre-show used large-scale puppets designed by Michael Curry, the same designer behind many other Disney puppets and parade figures. Mike was joined by Genie, Tigger, Lumiere, and Sebastian. The show only ran during the summer of 2010, but the puppets appeared again at a few Run Disney events. Later in 2015, Genie, Tigger, and Lumiere were reused for the Paint the Night parade at Disneyland in California. In 2013, to celebrate Monsters University, Mike and Sulley received new outfits for meet and greets. Sulley wore a large blue Monsters University jacket, while Mike appeared with braces and an MU baseball cap. These special costumes were seen at Walt Disney World, Disneyland Resort, and Hong Kong Disneyland. In 2013, a new Mike design was created by Michael Curry Design. This version of Mike no longer had stiff arms. His arms were much softer, like his costume used in Disney on Ice. The green colour of Mike was more vibrant, with a lot of extra texture for detail. His movable eye was removed in this design, making him simpler but easier to perform. This version was introduced alongside the Monsters University costumes and remains the standard look in the parks today. On October 1st, 2014, Mike and Sulley debuted in the Paint the Night parade at Hong Kong Disneyland. The parade would also later come to Disneyland Resort in California in May of 2015 to celebrate the 60th anniversary. The Monsters Inc float featured Sulley in his regular parks look, while Mike appeared as an animatronic with movement and lighting on the back. On June 28, 2025, Hong Kong Disneyland introduced Friendtastic. for its 20th anniversary. Mike and Sulley appeared on a brand new Monsters Inc float. Sulley would appear in his usual parks look, while Mike and Boo appeared as animated figures built into the float. This parade would celebrate friendships, with Mike and Sulley continuing to represent Monsters Inc. From their first movie premiere costumes to today's advanced animatronics and parade floats, Mike and Sulley's Disney Parks journey has been full of laughter, friendship and fun. They've starred in rides, lit up nighttime parades, danced at parties and met millions of fans face to face. And even though some of their attractions have come and gone, their place in Disney history and in the hearts of guests everywhere is here to stay. And Mike and Sulley will remain two of Disney and Pixar's biggest stars for years to come.